Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be playing as Germany. Now this is actually the first time I'm playing this thing. As you can see, I'm playing a mod and this is the Second Great War mod. And so this is my first video playing it. And so yeah, I'm going to be forming the Empire of Black Sun, which is, an interesting formable, and like I just want to try it. And thing is, this game, since this one has like, what do you call, events, right? I start out with an event with just like that gives me troops just like that in exchange. Of course, it takes money, but like still, it just spawns me troops, so I don't even have to go through the trouble of recruiting. And so yeah, and so what I do is I just take the troops the the game itself, the game event just gave me, and I just use those to invade Luxembourg, and then of course I invade Belgium as well because they're part of the list as well, and so the Allies do nothing, of course, because they're in a non-aggression pact with me, which is kind of convenient, I guess. So, thing is, Belgium has their colony in the Congo, so I had to go and send my troops to all the way to Africa just to invade it. Meanwhile, another event gave me even more units, so again, I'm just getting units left and right. And but of course, I mean, here's the thing though, don't think they're just free units. The event takes money from me as well. So yeah, anyways, I decide, you know what, why not, and then just conquer the entirety of the Congo. Conquer the entirety of the Congo, right? And so no, I literally just conquered the entirety of the Congo, because why not? Also mainly because I just wanted like a little bit better peace deal. As in, like, okay, you'll see what I mean. But when I took the peace deal, right, and conquered them completely, what I did was I took the territories in Europe, and then I proceeded to take the territories in the Congo. Now, in this, what do you call it? Mod, you could say, yeah, this mod, right? In this, like, the scenario itself, they have the native, like, Congo, like, the cores. The cores are for like the Congo people. Even the population in this area is like Congolese. And so what I did was I released Congo as Zaire, it's like the fascist one, because I just released it as a fascist government because, technically that's kind of what the Nazis went around doing, you know what I'm saying, in World War II, releasing, like, they allied with fascists in other countries and then made governments. So I kind of did that as well. And the funny thing was that after I sent my troops, I forgot to build a port, because there wasn't a port built. And so I had to disband all my troops right then and there, which is like, I was just like, kind of annoying, but yeah. And then, and then more events gave me more troops, but then this ended up being slightly bit of a problem, because now I had more troops along, like, troops along with the ones that I recruited. So that kind of became a double-edged sword in the sense that, like, I had to now pay the bills for all those soldiers, and that kind of took a decent toll on my economy. As you can see, it's negative right now. So that ended up happening. However, I really didn't care at all. So what I did was I went and I sent some troops there, and I looked at whether I was preparing to invade Hungary, but I realized that I didn't have to, and so I just decided, oh, okay, let's invade Poland then. And since like the game literally stacked troops for me, and I invaded, right? And the Poles managed to break in one point, but I invaded in the rest of them. Oh wait, hold on a second. I think oh yeah, my bad. Okay, I didn't explain. So the reason I put troops on Hungary as well is because Hungary was in intermarium, as in the alliance. They were in alliance with Poland, and so the second I'd invade Poland, I knew I'd invade Hungary as well. And rather than having the two countries go to war with each other and then break up the alliance and then invade, I instead decided to just invade both because it's cooler, I guess. I don't know why not. It sounds like the 1937 German type thing to do, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, invading just every country. And so yeah, I invaded Poland. I think that's all I can say. I mean, look, we took Warsaw pretty quickly. Like, Poland only pushed back in one place, but that's it. So yeah. And funny enough, all this while still being in the non-aggression pact with the Allies. So So much for that. Non-aggression pact and all. So then I just decided to carry on all the way until the Polish border. Like, sorry, the Soviet border. My bad. And so yeah, no. By this point, resistance had virtually ended, and I finished my conquest of Hungary too, because I forgot about it. Funny enough. So I decided to just take the provinces that I needed, right? And like, took all the provinces that I needed. That was easy enough. And then with the leftovers, I decided to take like about Hungary as well. I decided to just puppet Hungary. No, wait. I was deciding actually. I decided. Wait. What do I do? Wait. Hold on a second. I'm narrating afterwards. Right. I decided to release Ukraine and Belarus as nations. Right. That's what I decided to do. I don't puppet Hungary. Right. So I released Ukraine and Belarus because again, in this game there are the cores, right? So Ukraine and Belarus are there, and I even give part of the territory I don't need to Ukraine because I don't need it. I always like strengthening my vassals, you know. And so then I later realized that Italy was at war with Yugoslavia, but I didn't get involved in that. Meanwhile, I decided to instead go to war with the Netherlands, which would be honestly an easy conquest considering they're much weaker. And so also, and I also decided to disband a few of my troops, like just a few thousand, but I kept most of them. But I sent also some others to Lithuania, because of course I had to conquer Lithuania as well. And then all of a sudden, Britain attacks me. So does Romania and Finland. But then I realized that Romania was now a part of the Comintern. And I was like, ah, shit. And then the issue was that, like, you know, I could not fight the Soviet Union on my own, obviously. And not just the Soviet Union, the Comintern as a whole. So and also, the thing was that I didn't need to fight the Comintern. Because they weren't a part of the how do I say this? The territories I needed. So since they are not a part of the territories I needed, I didn't try to, go through the trouble of like conquering them. Instead, I just decided to just conquer the Netherlands on my own. And then let all the other nations around the Comintern do the work for me and just, fight the Soviets so that the Soviets leave me alone. And then after conquering the Netherlands pretty quickly and swiftly, and I started looking around me, checking what I could do about this. Oh yeah, right. I want to check the Netherlands where they were, but I realized the Dutch East Indies were way too far away, and they'd already broken off to become Indonesia. So I realized I decided to hold the Netherlands for a while, because I think the main issue was that I did not have enough score points. So I decided to pile up my troops, and then proceed to use those troops to invade Britain. And then I realized that I would have to be going to war with Czechoslovakia soon because of one of the updates that the game gave. And so instead I turned away the possible Operation Sea Lion to go and invade Czechoslovakia. I know, guys, I'm sorry if my commentary is a little bit whack, like a little bit weirder this time, because let's be real, I am narrating this after doing this. Like, this has been a while since I've done the scenario. This is, you guys know how I make these, right? I record and then I do it. So yeah. But then in the end, even after bringing those troops back or sending them back, turns out the war started anyways. And then now I was at war with or going to be at war with Czechoslovakia anyways. So then oh yeah. And then I tried to build troops, but of course I could not cover every side all at once. Thing was though, time was on my side. All I had to do was literally just wait for the reinforcements. That was enough. But instead, I raised troops and I tried to push in the time. And the whole time, oh shit, the game was just giving me updates, like the focus tree updates, and then that was there. And so then I slowly but surely turned the tides against Czechoslovakia, in which I started pushing them back. It was yeah, it was pretty easy. Also, for some reason, the Austrian troops were still there. Like, I don't know why, but they were just there. And then okay, and then once I started pushing the Czechs back, I tried making a peace with the Comintern once again, and this time they were trying to make peace with me too. Which, I mean, you know what? By all means, all right. And so I started covering all the places. I took Prague, and weird thing was that, like, the Comintern, all of them had those peace flag requests up, but then whenever I tried making peace, it never worked. It's kind of weird, but yeah, that's that. So anyways, Austria started revolting for some reason, and so I had to put that down. Meanwhile, I took over the rest of Czechoslovakia and then annexed it all. But instead of annexing everything, I annexed only the parts I needed. Okay, and it was a good thing I did, because if I annexed everything, I'd have a border with Romania and by extension the Soviet Union. And so that would be a problem. And luckily, as you can see, I left over that last place just so I wouldn't have a border with Romania. All right, so moving on from that kind of chaotic, hectic war, I brought all my troops all the way back to Prague, and while I was doing that, another revolt happens in Austria, and I quickly put it down and then assimilate the territories. And I realized that I hadn't assimilated a lot of territories, and so and then Austria revolts again. I don't know what was going on with Austria that made them want to revolt so much against, like, Germany, but yeah, what could I do? I just put them down violently, as you do with protests. And then it's not protests, it's like, what do you call it, an uprising, so there's a big difference. Anyways, then Lithuania just declares war on me. Okay, I think it was a part of the focus though, so it's not just random. And the thing was, even up until now, the Comintern were still at war with me, and it was getting kind of annoying. But since I didn't have a border with them, it didn't bother me. So all I did was I took all of Lithuania, and then I decided to just I finally make peace with the Netherlands. And then since I couldn't properly make peace with them, I decided to just leave it like that. And meanwhile, with Lithuania, I decided to just take only the provinces I needed and then just puppet the rest. It's a common thing I usually do. And I brought those troops back home to Germany, and I decided to I brought back a lot of the troops. Actually, wait, no, I was able to fully annex the Netherlands. I don't know what I'm saying. Man. Meanwhile, I assimilate Austria, and then of course I get the World War notification. This truly is the Second Great War. And so at that moment, I strike a non-aggression pact with France, thinking like, oh no, the AI is going to make me fight France. They're already making me fight Britain, so they might do that to me too. And then I look over and I see the Soviet Union just being, like, dying. Right? They're just getting murdered. And then I'm hesitant. Like, I start moving troops to France, like, because I'm afraid. But then, Then I think I move one turn, but, like, the war does not start at all. So, but then it starts immediately after. Okay, yeah, there it is. So, anyways, as the war starts, luckily I had a bunch of troops prepared, but I think also the event gave me troops on the border as well, like some troops. So luckily I was a little bit, I wouldn't be as defenseless as I would if I was playing this on the normal game. Meanwhile, with the troops I had, I decided to immediately start pushing into France. Also, I know there's a little bit of a cut there. Apologies for that. But yeah, all that's there is just I start pushing into France suddenly. Because the game just gives me a bunch of troops, and so I push in. And thing is, in this one, all you need to do is take, like, Paris. That's the thing. You don't have to conquer all of France. So you can just take Paris, and then as soon as you take Paris, the Fall of Paris event happens, where I just get to take all of this. And so now I've got Vichy France as a puppet too. And so it ends, the war between Germany and France ends pretty much as quickly as it does in like real life, instead of, say, a long, painful, grueling war. Meanwhile, I get everyone ready at the channel, preparing to invade Britain if they refuse my peace deal. And I ask the Soviets for a peace deal too, and luckily they accept. So then I decide to, oh yeah, right. I completely divert my attention and just get Zaire to, uh, yeah, attack Belgium. Yeah, I'd get Zaire to attack Belgium, thinking they'll win. Just because I want my puppet to, like, I want Zaire to completely control the Congo because they're my puppet state. And then I even, like, what I was looking at it, and I even sent some troops, 11,000, just for support purposes. And then I supported them when they started, like, sort of losing in Belgium. And then yeah, it was a chaotic war, as you can see. Now, for some, like, Germany fighting in the Congo it sounds like some alternate history type war right here. Like, Germany. I don't know what kind of alternate history, but still, sounds like an alternate history. But yeah, no. Germany just invades the Congo and then spreads fascism that way. And yeah, so I basically help Zaire retake, like, a lot of the Congo from the Belgium, from not what the Belgium, okay, no, just Belgium. And then of course, once the peace deal happens, oh yeah, we know there's the other peace deal with Italy and Ethiopia. Italy conquers them completely. They didn't even need my help. But uh, I just give all of the Congo to what do you call this thing, Zaire. And so, except for one single province that kind of annoyed me because, like, I wanted this to be complete, but whatever. I mean, like, I didn't really care. So after that successful war in the Congo, right? I just left them to, assimilate everything. But then I looked at France and I realized that there was quite a lot to assimilate. And thing was, I didn't really need all this territory for the, Empire of Black Sun. And so I decided to, well, actually, first things first, I decided to pile up my troops on Switzerland to prepare for the war. Because, I a part of the conquest was I needed to take, like the northern half of Switzerland. And so I just sent everyone in. I just went all in, and it ended before it even started. And so I annexed the whole thing, and then I puppeted the rest. So I just re-released Switzerland, but like a fascist regime. And then yeah, that was the end of Switzerland right there. And so meanwhile, I decided to prepare for one more thing. Now, remember how I said that I didn't need to invade the Soviet Union? Well, that kind of was not true, because I didn't know it at the time, because I didn't notice the territories. But turns out I had to take Leningrad as a part of this empire thing, Empire of Black Sun thing. Leningrad and Crimea. I had to take two places. Okay, so I know. Okay, yeah. Okay, I assimilate these places, of course. And so thing is, I look over at, I'm just looking around the empire, right, that I have as of now. I look over at Spain, as Franco has basically won the civil war. And meanwhile, I look over at the Soviet Union and Romania, and they're still going crazy. And Greece is just forming Megali or something, just invading Turkey. Meanwhile, Croatia is now puppeted by Italy, and then Hungary is and still allies with Poland. And so I threatened Hungary for military acts. No, sorry, I threatened Hungary to become a what is it? I think, yeah, I no, was it military access or vassal? I think it's a vassal. I don't know. I didn't get it. But I threatened Hungary to, like, so that my troops can move through them, right? And then I declare war on the Soviet Union. And so I proceed to send one force north to Leningrad and one force to, what do you call it? The Crimea. And then all of a sudden I get Operation Barbarossa as, like, one of the, the events. And that just, like, piles a shit ton of troops in Poland. Like, the game just spams these troops. All of a sudden I have, like, this massive ass army. And I don't even know, like, do I even know what to do with it? Right? So I start piling troops. I'm like, okay, you know what? We might actually be able to just invade the Soviet Union as we please. And I think was I sent most of the troops to like Hungary, and then like I sent like a half of the troops to Hungary, half of the troops to Poland, because Poland started declaring war on me. And that war went well, pretty well actually, because they couldn't really do anything against this massive onslaught of German soldiers. Meanwhile, Japan in the east was like suffering. So, but that's not my problem. And oh yeah, I puppeted Hungary, right? Okay, just checking. Okay, so then what happened was, as I was invading Poland, the event triggered where the Soviet Union takes half of Poland. And as a result of that, I lost the massive army that was in Poland at the time. And like, that kind of pissed me off a lot. But then it didn't, like, the thing was, even with such a massive loss, it didn't matter. Because I simply had so many troops. Like, it was literally insane. Alright? So now I had taken Crimea and I decided to spread out from there. Meanwhile, Finland had Leningrad, and I felt that they were not going to lose it anytime soon, so I declared war on Finland. And since I was at war with the Soviet Union, it didn't matter. And then Leningrad, the fall of Leningrad event triggered, and so then because of that, I got a bunch of extra troops there. Meanwhile, in the main front, you know, the eastern front, you could say, I was pushing the Soviets past Poland already, and I had taken all the territories I needed to. So I took Leningrad, I took Crimea, and then I just made peace. But then I realized Finland was still at war, so I made peace with them too, and they also agreed. And then I made peace with Poland too. And so now I had finally formed all the territories. However, I was still in debt. So now I would spend the next time just trying to escape the debt. Meanwhile, I didn't want to completely disband, because if I saw Hungary trying, like, you know, their what do you call it? Independence, like, you know, from the vassals, right? There's a chance that they want to be independent, desire for independence, whatever you want to call it. So I saw it increasing in Hungary, and I was trying to, I was like, okay, you know what, oh yeah, by the way, I think, oh yeah, the game crashed. Right, okay, to explain the cut, yeah, the game crashed, and so I had to go back to the previous save, and then, okay. Fuck. Right, the game crashed, okay, that's all. And then, yeah, I decided this time, okay, I'm not gonna, like, waste too much time. I sent my troops, I decided to disband my troops right then and there, as quickly as I could. Okay, I'm sorry, guys, I know this is a clusterfuck of a commentary, and only reason is because it's weird. It was a kind of a weird game. I'm gonna be honest. And then I moved my troops out of Hungary, and then I don't think I invaded them, but I finally formed the Empire of Black Sun, and completely, you know, win. But I annexed Slovakia and decided to just re-release them as a puppet states. But then I decided to do Austro-Slovakia instead. I don't know why, but yeah, I decided to really re-release Austro-Slovakia, and then I finally decided to give the province, and then finally, oh yeah, one more thing, because northern France was another issue. I was gonna touch on that earlier, but whatever. So to get rid of the provinces I don't need, I was going to give it to France initially, right? Initially, I was going to give it to France right then and there, but then I looked at France and I realized there was a revolt risk. Liberty desire. And so instead of giving it to a bunch of traitorous liberty desirers, I decided to instead re-release re-release Burgundy. Thing is, there's only the, like, what do you call the medieval Burgundy, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know which kind of Burgundy I'm releasing. Anyways, I also, you know, I then proceeded to hand back some territories, or hand territories that I didn't need. So I carefully traded them, okay, because I didn't want to, like, have to go to war again. But yeah, just like that, we finished it. And since Manchukuo was at war with me, I needed to get them off my back. Then Hungary declares independence, so I invade Hungary. Right, I forgot to mention this part. Right, I invade Hungary because you know what? It's kind of fun to invade people, so why not? So that invasion goes well, and then I just puppet Hungary right then and there. But then thing is, I could not puppet them for some reason. I think it was because they had territories elsewhere. So I just kind of held on to them for a while. Meanwhile, Manchukuo was there, and Italy refused to sign a peace deal. And I knew that I had to get to Manchukuo, so I got Guangxi to. I was planning on just getting Guangxi to give me military access, which they did. And so I sent in troops all the way from Germany to Italy first, actually, so that they get together there. And then I sent them all the way to the Guangxi clique, mating. I sent them all across the all across the Mediterranean, in Indian, and into the Pacific Ocean. These troops really did go the entire, like, the extra mile. And then I invaded Manchukuo and finished them off, and then finally made the peace deal. And in the peace deal, I decided, I was just gonna puppet them, because why not? And then, meanwhile, with Hungary, the case was, I had to, like, I made my troops leave, and then I pretty much, oh yeah, and then I got to re-release them finally. And so I formed the Empire of Black Sun. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.